Schroeder to know if he's been like messaged
Who,
or anything
Blackwater?
similar. Yes.
How would you know that?
Like through Arcana or my knowledge of like if you have to be conscious to receive and send messages and stuff like that.
So, generally, you do have to be conscious with most spells, unless a deity is trying to contact you via a dream, which can happen. But yeah, to send and receive messages through magical means with spells such as like message and sending, you do have to be conscious. Whether or not someone is messaging him, that would be hard to say, but if he wasn't conscious, he wouldn't be able to receive the message from what you know.
Cool. Bellfire, if you would.
Would what? Are we
What
deciding
you were
we don't want this guy anymore?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Uh,
so the main reason is that we know that the Empire is entering Isik right now, and the Black Waters are like the very powerful family in the Empire. So if they learn about what's going on here, we may have some issues.
all right. Well, so let's bring his body up here and make it look like Malik did it. Oh wait, he is Malik. Whatever.
He was just a
Bellfire's climbing the
casualty.
hole. Bellfire's gonna go climb in the hole and slit his throat.
Oh, I think we did get one long rest, it looks like, because it's the 7 a.m. of the next day, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to check on that. So you said this in front of everyone? Or were you
Yeah.
were you trying to be stealthy about it?
I mean, it's just a group. Yeah.
So
Alright,
Schroeder and Calrod suggest Balefire go in the hole and Blackwater.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm looking awkwardly toward Tal.
So
Hoping that
you're just gonna kill him?
Sure.
For what? Didn't we decide he was innocent and was under the control of Malek?
For
Well-
that innocent, sure. For a general aspect, in terms of the world, no.
So
Yeah.
what crime are you accusing him of?
Well,
Okay.
it's a crime. The crime is hard to pin, but you know that the Empire just decided to invade the sec, right?
No,
Right
I
now.
don't know that.
Okay, so further, do you want to elaborate on that information?
On the invasion of Isaac.
Yep. How did you know? How did you learn about it?
I learned through you and through what was the other way I learned about that from? Because I never talked to the
Chiron.
dragon.
Out
Through
of character,
Chiron
speak with
was
Chiron.
Chiron was the other one. Chiron explained to all of us. You weren't there for that, though. Chiron was the basically head wizard of Isaac, and he was explaining all of the background stuff. But he sent me a message during that long rest, or right in the morning after our long rest, saying that that there was a lot of forces from the Truvian Empire entering the city, and he was asking how we were doing.
Okay, but what are they looking for? And why does it matter if you execute him or not?
Because Blackwaters are kind of were searching for the vault, and Blackwater was. We don't know exactly when he was taken out by Malek, but it is very likely that the Blackwaters were already on trying to find stuff for on night weather, and now that we actually have something that is that we cannot protect from this kind of power, we have the only protection we have is to make sure that Power does not learn about that location or what happened here before we are ready to act on it and to have these 20 soul crystals. If this Blackwater remains alive and somehow he has the ability to send message or receive message or be contacted by his family, um, which I'm pretty sure is aware of what he was doing in shore, we may have way more trouble than we can face.
So you're killing him for knowing too much.
Yes, and indirectly from being responsible for a lot of things that happened during the past years, even if it was not necessarily his intent, but we don't know how long Malek have been controlling him. That is for sure. We don't know how much he actually already said to his family, but leaving him alive and is a big risk, and it's a big risk for us.
So, but if we strip him of his magical implements, he wouldn't be able to send a message. We could just
Well,
keep him prisoner.
No, that's not how magic works. Someone else can send a message to him and he can reply.
Are there any NPCs there?
Just
made all of them leave, right?
Butcher at most, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, Butcher is there.
yeah, Butcher's there. Butcher wouldn't care. He would be all for
Yeah.
killing the previous incarnation of Malik.
And there's also no telling if once Malik regains his power, if he would be able to just reassert his control over Blackwater.
More really. Yeah. Butcher, question about that. Have you always known Malek under that guise, like under this guy's shape and form?
No,
The Blackwater guy?
Malik looked different when I served him. He was occupying a different body back then. I can only assume
Do you
that
know?
body was killed at some point.
Do you
Does
know?
he normally choose very powerful people, or with lots of influence?
Says I don't know. I only knew him for a short time when he came to Isik. I don't know much about the Shadowlords or what their purpose or powers are.
So when you saw him after he took control again from you, that was the first time you were seeing him with that shape.
Says yes. When I was in the halls, he found me as this Blackwater and then took control of me again. It was. I'm ashamed that it happened, but apparently he still has some control over his creations. He says
So yes, yep.
I would agree with all of you. I think this Blackwater should die just to be safe.
Well, this is a big mystery that we are protecting here. This is a big. I mean, whoever is going to take hold of Nightweather is going to have a lot of power, and before I'd rather have. I mean, Tal, no offense, because I know you've been serving for the Empire, right?
Not really. My family has acted as judges and advisors to the Empire, but we are not necessarily under its influence.
Well, you know about the ban on the spellcasters and the registration of magic. You're aware of that, right?
Of course.
So, yeah.
No, I still can't get over the fact that you're just gonna kill him.
Is anyone good aligned in the party? Just out of curiosity.
No.
Alright. Just
No.
curious. Just curious.
like, if we strip him of his magical implements, he can't send messages. If we
No, that's not
if
true.
he needs components to send message. He
No.
can't. If he receives a message and we like close his mouth, he can't
That
reply.
won't work either. It's mental.
I understand you don't want to kill him, but we can't exactly carry him around forever either. And speaking of that, you fine with leaving this butcher guy alive, who is going to be under control of Malik as soon as he returns?
Butcher kind of
Well-
side-eyes you.
Butcher has helped us. Actually, Butcher, when we did that ritual you wanted, now that Malek is gone, what exactly did we do?
He says, "You mean the shielding around the keep to keep the ghouls out?"
Yes, because that worked actually.
He nods.
So-
He says, "Yes, the shield should still be in place."
Okay. So yeah, Mora Butcher actually helped us prevent more ghouls to enter the keep and this is one of the reasons we've been able to kind of move around in these tunnels a little bit more easily without having throngs of ghouls after us.
I'm not.
So-
Not say, it just seems quite strange. I think you should at least talk about how you're going to prevent him from being controlled again.
But they're going to prevent him from being controlled by not letting him be alive.
Well, the problem of Malek returning is a problem for all of us, Butcher and all of us too, because at that point Malek will have easy access to Nightweather, which is why personally I think we should. But that's kind of a separate problem from the Blackwater guy. The Blackwater guy is part of a large family that is pretty powerful, has a lot of resources in the Empire, and if we leave him alive, they can talk, they can try to message him, they can try to locate him magically. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff they can do through magic that we can't prevent, other than actually making sure that he cannot tell anything to anybody magically.
So does anyone have history? Is it? I know that
Yes.
you do Calgrod. You might know something about the Blackwater family if you want to make a history check.
Okay.
I also
Maybe
have history.
About the Blackwater family, or possibly about Blackwater, Galen Blackwater himself.
Hey, Lou,
Yeah.
just so you know, Balefire is actually chaotic good.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I checked his alignment. I'll
So
let you know.
you might feel. I mean, it's up to you ultimately. Obviously, it's your character, but you might feel a little conflicted over just killing someone like that. But okay, so what you know about the Blackwater family is that they are very powerful. They occupy the second seat of the Empire. Galen Blackwater himself is sort of a maybe like a black sheep of the family. He's one of the youngest sons born, and he was sort of sent out to Char to kind of do his own thing. He's sort of a scholar, not much of a politician like the others. So I don't know if that gives you any more insight as to what choice you want to make here, but you would know that. He's not one of the more political members of the family. He's kind of a recluse and kind of not very social, but more intelligent. Because usually you would go through the earlier chapters and have met him and know more about him, but since this game started sort of middle of the campaign, you kind of skip that part. So yeah, with history you would know those things.
And we could have talked to Jean-Luc a bit about that, because I know that some of the stuff, the thing that he was in shore was something I knew from Jean-Luc, not from.
Yeah, and don't think I'm trying to push you in either direction of killing or
No,
not
no,
killing.
no,
I'm
no,
just
of
giving
course.
you the information.
Yeah, and I would kind of reflect that to everybody, but so Cadbrod's position is that he's not. You guys realize he's not a big fan of the Empire. yeah, he has his reasons for that, but I'm not going to go into that. But so Calvert would be voting for that elimination, but we being conflicted, but for. So, but he will not go against the group if the group decides otherwise.
Bellfire doesn't care either way.
Looks like I'm overruled. But what prevents him from finding this place anyway?
Actually coming down here through all the other undead and everything else.
It was really a pain to get here. Like we only
Yeah,
found it because we had a ghostly guide.
So,
well, yeah, but the trace. I mean, there's an army that followed us. I don't think it would be very difficult for scouts to kind of find. I mean, there were like what 100 hobgoblins, and that's not going to be very difficult to follow. The thing is that so my point is we need to make sure that the Empire is met with a fierce resistance from both the undead, the Warforged, and the dragons, so that we can accumulate remaining soul gems and activate that portal before anybody else. That is my my suggestion about the next course of action. And I'm not casting the spell, to be clear.
alright, so as you are talking, you would see Butcher stand and kind of look towards the door, and he says, I think someone's coming.
Okay. Let's let's get ready. Are you sensing it or are you feeling it through? How do you think?
He says, I hear something. Footsteps, I
Oh,
believe.
okay. All right. Let's
A lot of
go check out
footsteps
the
or
door.
solo pair.
It sounds like a small group.
Oh, that may be Jean-Luc actually. All right. Let's go to like go cautiously to the door. Kind of going to check who's coming.
Okay, so as you approach the door, you as well start to hear the footsteps. Does anyone have a passive perception over 20?
No.
I didn't think so. But as you get out there, you would look down the hall and see a group coming. As you open the door, they draw their weapons, but then sort of relax when they see it's you. And it is indeed Jean Luc with several hobgoblins with him. He says,
Hi.
you're alive. He says, I
We are.
just made my way past the dead. What happened?
Yeah. There was a big battle. We defeated Malek, and well, I was thinking of going to get for your help. So I'm glad you're here with your people. We don't know what happened to our card yet.
He looks surprised. He says, you defeated the Shadowlord. Wow.
It's a long story, but it is not. He's not in his own plane, so we sent him back to his own plane. We did not really defeat him. We just removed him from here, and the body he took over. This Blackwater guy, he's down there in the pit.
He kind of walks up towards the group. He looks
I,
around.
I would introduce him to Tal and Mora. Hey, this is one of our ally that has been helping us through these caves.
He says, well met you two. So, the vault, what was inside?
Well, there is a bunch of dwarven gold, some hollow portals, and the portal we believe is for Nightweather.
He looks a little bit curious. He says, how much dwarven gold?
Enough for a lot of people. We have the sheriff for our card secured. If we can find it, you may be the next person to kind of claim it.
he would nod, say, "Well, I'm here to help. I'm sorry I missed the battle. You say Orchard is missing."
Yes, we were telepathically linked during the battle, and afterwards he just wasn't here, and I wasn't able to communicate, which either means he's fallen or in a different plane.
Hmm.
Yeah, we found the item he was carrying, like the key he was carrying. So and he was not the only one missing. Shiva and actually Zutans are also missing.
Hmm.
We didn't
Well,
find the bodies.
yes, I did not see all that many hobgoblins back there. There were some dead, but also I know Orchard's forces were were larger than the amount of dead I found. I assume something must have
Interesting.
happened to them. Says, well, like I
Hmm.
said, whatever I can do to help.
Well, the first thing is that we need to find a way to open that pedestal portal to Night Weather, and we need to make sure we keep anybody from getting through or finding this vault. So, would you be willing to kind of establish a perimeter and a guard and with Butcher over there, and you guys could kind of warn us, would find a way to kind of be connected, so one way or the other, to warn us if anything, if anybody approaches.
He says, well, it seems like there are two entryways into this place. There's the door here, which we came in, and there's that side opening into that cave over there. I guess we could watch both of those. Um, is that all you need for now, just to guard this place? And how long would we be guarding for?
Well, that is another question that we were just discussing. What do you know about Galen Blackwater?
He says, I was never a big fan of his. I knew him when he was organizing this trip. Um, he says, I know
That's
that
true.
I thought he had disappeared somewhere in Issyk while we were here, around the time Malik showed up, and many of his mercenaries were killed. I assumed he had died with them, but you're saying he was down here.
Yes. He's actually the one that Malek took possession of.
Oh, that would make sense then. Um, so he's alive?
For now.
He kind of arches an eyebrow and says, what do you mean for now?
Well, Schroeder, can you help me on that?
Well, if Malik is able to regain enough power, he could most likely reassert his control over and come back through him again.
He says, well, from what I know of the Shadowlords, they can possess just about anyone if you do not have a strong enough will to resist them. They've generally chosen people of power in the past.
And that is why he is a very high target for Malik to return through.
He nods.
You're aware, Jean-Luc, that the Empire is sending his troop into Isek right now?
Says, no,
Uh,
I was not
mm,
aware of this.
yes, Chiron informed us just this morning.
Are these the Blackwaters who have come?
Most likely. I
Yeah,
was
we
not
we're,
given the
we're
exact details, and Chiron most likely would not be able to discern the difference.
Shrugs. He
not
says,
sure
well,
yet.
the fate of Blackwater is none of my concern. As far as I knew, he was already dead. So do with him what you will, I suppose. I can keep a secret.
I so And further, you mentioned we can keep with us. We can keep him with us, right? If he
Yeah.
dies. Alright. Well, I'm all for it. So unless somebody has a very very strong objection and wants to take him under the responsibility, I think we should kill him right now. Like Jean-Luc says, for many people he's already dead.
I would ask Butcher to at least bring him next to some of the other bodies.
You can actually ask Butcher if he wants the honors.
Yeah. See
If
if
he can
Butcher wants to.
benefit from draining him or something, that might be.
Hold on, folks. I don't think we want to turn him into vampire, right?
He won't.
He says I could take his life force without turning him into a vampire.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
He says if the group wants me to, I can do this for you. Alright, so is that the decision?
Yes.
Alright, so
I'm not hearing Tal, so
I've said my piece.
he said his
It
piece.
was overruled.
Alright, so Butcher will climb down the pit and finish off Blackwater. Alright, so Blackwater is dead.
Does that look
Yep.
like Mora will watch?
So you would see Butcher probably just spider walk down the wall of the pit since he's a vampire, kind of kneel over Blackwater and grab him, pulling him forward as he bites into his neck. Blackwater gasps a bit as his blood is drained, and then finally he just kind of goes limp. And Butcher looks a bit revived by that, seeming happy to get some life force.
Yeah, and I would ask him to bring the body near the other dead bodies for the most part. Preferably the Shadowkai.
Out in the halls, you mean?
Yes.
He nods and drags his body up. Alright, what does the group want to do?
After that, I'm going to be casting Animate Dead at 4th level. Yeah.
Alright. So
Do we? Sorry. Also, I mean, we can do this maybe at the same time. Whatever. Do we want to identify those
Yeah,
other?
those 3 items, yeah.
Alright, so go ahead and link the spell you're casting.
The Animate Dead? Right
Yes.
there.
And you're casting those on what?
3 of the Shadowkai body and his body.
So zombies?
Nope, skeletons.
I think you need to use bones if you want skeletons. If you use a corpse, it's zombies.
We talked about that a while ago and said that we could just have the flesh fall off.
It's more a flavor thing. It's more a flavor thing, but I don't know if that works with you, Lou.
I mean,
It's more
the
like
bones are there, they're just not visible.
So
Do I need to first burn the flesh away?
yes, you would probably have to do that. It wouldn't just fall off. You'd have to probably cremate them so just the bones were left. Yeah, because according to the spell, it says corpses become zombies, and if you have bones, they become skeletons.
Alright, I'll just use Firebolt to burn the flesh away.
Alright, so you would take a bit to start burning away the flesh of these corpses.
Hellfire has firebolt as well, so he can assist.
So the Shadowkai, you're talking about your allies, former allies,
No,
or the enemy
bad
soldiers?
ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you and Balefire kind of use magical fire for I don't know how long it would take to make like a little pyre away from the vault so as not to fill this place with stinky smoke.
Smells like barbecue.
Well, corpses burning probably doesn't smell good. I don't know if it would smell like barbecue. Never smelled it, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But we'll say, yeah, you take about an hour to do that, and you have bones which you animate into skeletons.
Yep, and then we have the armor from my previous boys to put on them.
Okay.
Is that something you were carrying, or was that something I was carrying for you?
I think that was in the bag.
Okay, I'll double check that.
And you're casting this at level 5?
4th level?
Okay, which lets you make 3 total, is that right?
No, 4, because I have the, where is it? Undead Thralls.
Oh, can you link that? Okay. Okay. Alright, so you would make 4 of these skeletons.
And that's exactly how much armor and stuff that we had originally.
Okay, so you
We have 4. We have 4 extra shoulders now, right?
Yeah, they're wearing red though.
Oh yes, they're wearing red. That's true. You're wearing blue. They're wearing red.
Alright, so it is about 8:30ish at this point. What does the group want to do?
What about the identify on the?
Yeah, we're gonna
items?
spend some time identifying those 3 items.
Okay, so you use the identify ritual. The dagger. Let me send you the info on that.
Balefire will have done one of the identifications as well. If
Yeah,
you
I was
send
about
it,
to say.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do the third.
Oh, perfect.
Alright, so you did the dagger.
I would do
Sure.
the ring and then leave the other 2 to Balefire and Tal.
Alright, you do the ring. Okay, let me just look something real quick. I just have to look up the names of this. Okay, there it is. Alright, I just want to make sure there is not something else to this.
It has 12 different magical effects.
Not 12. Alright, so this is the ring. Who did the dagger?
I'll do the dagger. That's fine.
Balefire, alright.
I don't know if you meant to send that last line twice, but
There are 2 hidden properties. If that's what you're
so
asking
2
about.
things that I can't discern.
Yes.
Got it. At first I was just like, does it just make it to where people don't notice it.
There is the dagger, and you
Alright.
did the amulet.
Okay.
That was towel. Alright, there you go.
All right, so this dagger, I've discerned it to be it's a dagger +1 with a magical feature of returning if you attune to it, and it's got 2 other properties that I haven't been able to figure out.
Yeah, the amulet protects against detection and location. But it doesn't say, and I didn't feed anything like it, that it is bound to this plane or anything. So that raises the question, why was the dagger left behind and nothing else?
Well, so it's actually because he could not find the key. So we know from Jean-Luc that Blackwater was trying to get the 3 keys, and somehow the dagger ended up being in Orchard position, and has been kept away from Blackwater.
Yeah,
And
but why when what's his name, Orchard and all of his soldiers were teleported away to the other plane? Why did the dagger remain and none of the other, I assume, magic items that they carried?
yeah, it's so you say the, the sorry, I cut my throat. The amulet doesn't allow being detected magically. Is that what you're saying?
You can't be detected or located.
Or located, and it has no other properties that you identified.
It seems like there's more, but I couldn't
Ah,
tell.
okay. So there's more. Well, yeah, we don't know why that dagger was not actually. We don't know exactly what happened to Orchard, and we don't know why the dagger remained behind. Or, I mean, yeah, we don't know if it's part of the properties that are hidden. That maybe these items cannot be moved in another plane or wherever. We don't know where they are. So,
Yeah, it's
Assume
possible
that
Chiron would be able to tell us more about what these items can do, and even Aranye may be able to tell us more if Chiron can't.
maybe the other two properties, or maybe the other properties will reveal themselves when the items are combined.
Well, they already were combined
oh,
before.
yeah, that's a good point.
What does
That
the
may be
ring
one
do?
of.
The only thing I can tell, there are 2 hidden properties, but Ring of Protection, basically, +1 to AC and saving throws.
Nice.
Like I give the amulet to Schroeder. Wanna try again as a set?
Like
That's
trying
a
to
good idea.
identify all 3 as a combination.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
I'll,
Go,
I'll
or go
attempt
one
that.
step and hand the
Well,
dagger over.
you know, with your Arcana knowledge, Schroeder, that sometimes magical items do have more powerful hidden properties.
Yeah.
You usually need more powerful spells like Legend Lore to figure out what they do,
Mm-hmm.
or to do
Yeah.
research like on the item itself.
That's why I was suggesting going to Chiron for more insight.
Well, I'm since the dagger's a +1, I can hang on to it and actually use it as my offhand because Stabatha doesn't seem to be effective against a lot of the things we're fighting because it's not magical. So I would benefit from having it as my second weapon in the meantime.
Isn't that the second returning dagger that we have now?
Yes. Well, we had the first one was Milois, I believe. Milo ended up with it.
I thought you had one for a while, Cavrod. Did you? Is that the one you
Yeah,
gave the Milo?
yeah, that's the one I traded for the obsidian dagger.
Ah,
So Tal or Mora, I mean Mora and Tal certainly should claim if I will not need the ring actually. So I'm fine now that we know what they do. I think Mora certainly helped us out of quite a bind, and Tal has been a stalwart companion, and should get their pick of what they want.
I was actually going to offer up the winged boots if anyone wanted that for the ring. Because
Hmm.
me being squishy, needing higher AC.
All right, put your claims, guys. What you guys want?
If you're fighting another Shadowlord, those boots would be useful.
Yeah, having a melee person being able to fly up would be very helpful.
they require attunement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Attunement is required.
All right. So right now, so it sounds like unless someone wants the ring more than Schroeder does, Schroeder will take the ring, offer up the boots to someone else, a melee
Yep.
person, and then there's the amulet. Does that also require attunement?
Let me look. Yes, it does.
Well,
Tal, Mora, any preference?
Well, you say that we can take a pick, but it sounds like everything's been picked for us.
Well,
you wrote. I mean, do you have use for
we
a
haven't
dagger?
heard you yet. Right now, so two people have made their claim, but we haven't heard any of you. It's not whoever does a claim first that gets the
It's a
thing.
discussion.
It's discussion. Yeah, make your claim and then we can discuss.
Seems like all of my items except my armor are gone. So,
What kind of
like,
weapon do you? What kind of weapon do you prefer?
my weapon is fine. I could benefit from a different weapon, but defensive items would probably suit me more right now.
So you're thinking about the amulet or the ring?
No one's going to be looking for me here.
So the ring. All right. So man, you have a very indirect way to say things.
So again, speaking about the things that you need, do you want a shield? Do you fight with a shield? And again, what kind of weapons do you favor?
Mora will once again get out her bow and do the trick of switching it around
Right, so
between
your
bow,
weapons.
glaive, sword.
Okay.
I fight with what's more convenient. Sometimes with a shield, as she beckons to her back, and there's a normal shield on there.
All right, just trying to understand what we're working with here.
So we have two claims on the ring. Mora, you didn't say anything yet.
Yeah, the ring would definitely be useful.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Mora
Tal,
was
we
the one
haven't heard.
saying the
Yeah.
ring.
Sorry. Tal, we haven't heard you yet.
I mean, I would take the boots if Belfire doesn't want them.
Well, I was
Well, right now,
offering the boots for the ring because the
yeah.
boots are already in my possession.
Yeah,
So
but
right
you
now,
were going to take the. Okay, no, never mind.
yeah, it's not clear who's taking the ring. There's two claims on the ring.
I
Tal,
mean,
what would be your claim?
I already have a ring of protection. I don't need
Okay.
any of those items. But I was thinking that the amulet, like, can Blackwater be detected as a zombie? If that is our main concern, can we make this zombie attuned to the amulet?
I don't think my zombies can attune to anything.
That's a good
I
question. Uh,
think actually.
I, th-
I
I
don't know the
think
answer to
okay.
that
So
though.
I'm pretty sure because I don't think there's a limit on who or what creatures can attune to what. I think if you command them to, they could probably attune to magical items. You would just have to
That's
tell them to.
interesting.
I mean, I can look into it more, but like off the top of my head, I'd say you can just command them to attune to those if you want.
That's not a bad idea, actually, putting the amulet on the zombie just in case. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so now we have to go to solve. So nobody's claiming the dagger, but Balefire. We have 2 claims for the ring and no claim for the amulet. Right? This is where we are.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's
Right.
still hidden properties on all of the items.
Now you
So
split up the magical items from the vault already, right? Like the rod and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
well, I think they are mostly in Balefire equipment, right?
I'm holding them
Well,
because I have the capability to hold them.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and
That's all. So they're
who
in my hole.
the rod was basically something specific for a warlock, I believe.
It didn't right, didn't that go to that should have gone to
Have the Mora has the rod, but it's not very useful for Mora.
there we go.
It's
That's where it
not
ended up.
useful for increased attack rolls and saving throws on your spells?
I don't use spells.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
As
we
you
have
might have
the
noticed.
goggle. So the goggles of the knight went to Shorter. The horseshoes of speed are in the bag. So out of the pack to Mora, but not necessarily something that is a hard set. And we still have a bunch of scrolls to identify. So there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
yeah, we
6.
identified 6 of them. There's still quite a few more.
Uh, So it seems like with your goggles, I think personally, I mean, I would chime in that Mora is probably better suited for the ring right now.
Yeah,
Further until
I was
we
offering the boots if she would prefer the boots, but if she really wants the ring, sure. I just think we should get another insight on what those hidden traits are, if we can.
Yeah, we should
yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
if
we
we
should
want
do
to
that.
get
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So let's do that. Let's do that first. We need to figure that out before we split stuff. But otherwise, yeah. Alright, so can one of you do another identify with the 3 items?
That's most likely not going to help. We're going to need a
Yeah.
higher level of identify with legend
Alright.
lore, which I
Oh,
do not
that's
currently
what
have.
he was saying. Okay, got it. So that may be where Karen can help. Okay,
Yes.
so then we're pretty much done here. So thinking about the amulet, is there is a point in giving the amulet to either butcher? So there's the possibility for the zombie, but he's going to come with us, so it's not really a big deal. If he's being located and found with us, actually we can then walk away from there rather than here. But Jean-Luc and Butcher are going to stay here to keep the vault, to keep people from the vault as much as possible. So shouldn't we give the amulet to one of the two?
Well,
Would
I will never turn down magical items, Jean-Luc says. Also, I think it would be good if I held on to Orcard's share of the gold for now.
That's fair.
yeah.
Right?
Would Schroeder know through Arcana knowledge if someone could still message uh Blackwater?
At this point, they would have to be using some sort of contact the dead spell.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
So would the amulet protect from that kind of contact?
I can just order him not to respond.
Well,
There's
Yeah.
also locate creature and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I would order him to let you know if someone contacts him
Yeah.
and
But
not to respond.
now that he's undead, he is a different creature. He's not the same as he was
Most
as Blackwater.
yeah, most spells to talk to the dead, I believe you have to have the corpse. There might be higher level ones where you can talk to them anyway, but I don't know what they are off the top of my head.
Alright, so we have Shorter as the goggles, Mora as the ring. Are you keeping the rod for use, the Mora, or is that completely useless to you?
I will keep it for now, for sure. I do have a couple of spells, but probably look
So
to trade it for something when
At
we
some
get a
point.
chance.
Alright, so the amulet goes to. So we keep it on Blackwater, or we keep it over there at the vault.
We're not going to leave anything in the vault. That's
No,
crazy.
but leave it at for Butcher or for Charlie.
I
Well,
mean, I would carry it for now until we know more.
I assume you're going to leave those big pillars in there, those pedestals, or
Unless you think that your hobgoblins could take one to Chiron with us.
ooh, those look pretty heavy. Emotions for some of his guys to come over. So they walk over and they kind of, I'll say like maybe 5 or 6 of them get around one of the pillars and try to lift it. It is pretty heavy.
Okay, so we would most likely need like a cart or something to move it.
Perhaps teleportation magic, maybe? Or yes, some
possibly
kind
that
of
too.
cart.
I got 2 options. One, we can put it on a floating disc if the weight isn't more than I forgot what the spell limit was for that.
It probably is. I think it's like
don't have that
500
yet.
pounds. Which
Okay,
this
so
is
the
a
other
solid stone pillar, so yeah, it's going to be more.
all right. The other thing too is we can put it at the bottom of the portable hole because its dimensions are not bigger, right? I mean, like that's gonna fit in the hole. It'll fit in a 10 by 10 with all my shit in it, right?
Would we be able to get it into the hole?
So like that's the trick. We'd have to lower it down 10 feet,
So
but everybody work together to do it.
you have a decent amount of stuff in there. I don't know if you could fit all 4 of them.
No. I just meant
No,
one.
just
Oh,
one.
just one? Yeah, you could probably fit one in there. But yeah,
All
then
right.
you just have to figure out how you get it in there.
Yeah.
And getting it out.
Yeah, I'd rather not turn this thing inside out. Like open it up on the wall or something. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, hopefully Chiron has some way of getting it to his area, because I feel like
Jean-Luc scratches his
him
chin.
having one is good.
He says, perhaps enlarge, reduce?
Does that actually change the weight?
He says, I believe it makes things smaller and makes them weigh less, I believe. Says,
Because I have that, I just didn't remember if that actually changes the weight.
8 times less.
What did you say, Mora?
I think it's 8 times less, but that's out of character. Mora doesn't know.
I was like, I don't know. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, the weight does change. Okay. So yeah, I could do that, but it only lasts for a minute.
I do not have.
But that'd be enough time to put it into the hole.
Exactly.
And then I just cast the spell again to get it out.
I have the spell, I just do not have it prepared today. That's why I thought of it. I've used it in this way before.
Yeah, I also don't have it prepared.
Alright. Well, at this point, it's probably some time has passed with the discussions. What does everyone want to do? It's probably about 9 o'clock.
So we need to find Ava Garu and bring him back because he's our hound for finding more gems. So first, are we all okay that the next step for us is to try to slow down the advance of the Empire and find the gems? Is that what you guys are okay to do?
Mind explaining what
we-
these gems are? Kind of out of the loop here.
Basically, collection of souls.
The
Right.
power of the items. So the gems you were inside or were kind of brought inside was part of the energy, magical energy that Malek was using. And this pedestal portal for Nightweather required 20 of those. And we have around like half a dozen right now. But we know at least what 10 are, and we know there are others that are hidden in different places.
Actually, let me speak with Mora in the secrets chat real quick.
Okay.
As she might know something about this, being that she comes from the Shadowfell.
Okay.
Alright, one moment.
So
Alright, so you actually might know something about the gems. Your initial backstory was that you were chasing cultists, yes, and you're part of the Midnight Pyre?
Yes.
So the cultists have rituals they use to do something similar that you believe, or probably would believe, your organization would believe, they got from the magics of the Shadowlords. They kill people and basically trap their life essence in these gems that they can use to power ancient magical items that require immense amounts of power. They trap the basically life energy that's kind of like necrotic energy in these gems as they kill multiple groups of living humanoids.
Right. How would the Midnight Pyre feel about that?
I mean, in general, the Midnight Pyre is against this because it's, murdering Shatter Kai people, which is usually how they do it. I mean, you might have mixed feelings just because if it's being used against the Shadow Lords in some way, like if the group going to this Nightweather place somehow goes against the Shadow Lords, you might be for getting more of these crystals. I don't think you'd be for creating more because that would require, murdering a bunch of people.
Okay.
But that's kind of up to you how you'd feel. I'm not sure. You're not good aligned, right?
I'm not against killing people, but I'm also not for senseless murder either.
Yeah, you're more neutral, so you might see the utility of it, but also, not necessarily want to see a bunch of people die that if it's kind of senseless or they don't deserve it.
Right. Okay.
Any other questions?
Uh, I guess not at this point, but I do have a lot of questions that probably better done not during the session.
Okay, let's head back for now then. All right.
Yeah,
Go ahead, sure.
It's more would just pitch in. I hope you're not suggesting creating more of them.
No.
I mean, if we don't have to, then we won't.
Well, we know of a demon that could heal. We know laboratory where there's a demon that is imprisoned.
There's a Baylor imprisoned outside of the city, but we have access to the area it's in, and it's trapped enough to where we may be able to just drain that into another crystal.
If we need the power, but that would be the kind of creatures that we would be training if we were to have to do it. Is that okay, Mora?
That's fine.
Okay.
Do you know the method to create the shadow crystals?
I don't think we do actually. We have an empty one, but I don't. I mean, that's something we'll still have to figure out.
Yeah, I was gonna say you do have a possible large one you could fill, but you don't know the actual ritual to drain life force and put it into the crystal.
Speaking of that large crystal, do I feel like it would count as multiple of the smaller ones for the purpose
It
of the portal?
very well might. You'd probably have to do research though.
Do I need to
Okay.
carry that thing around for us?
The large crystal? I've got it.
Yeah.
It's only the size of like a basketball.
Yeah, I think you have it in
All right.
your. You have it in a bag of holding, right?
The large
No,
one from this room?
no, I picked it up.
Oh, is
I
it
think
just in
it's
your
shorter.
backpack?
Yeah.
All right. It might not be the safest in there. Just warning you, but because it is pretty fragile.
Ah,
So
then Balefire, would you mind holding on to it for safety?
Sure.
a bag of holding, would probably be preferable. Just
I
because
will.
it's an extra dimensional space, it won't like jostle around while you're moving.
Yeah.
When Bellfire trips.
Hmm.
Alright, so Balfac, take 20, so 60, 65 gold bars for Jean-Luc and the Hobgoblins, so they can keep that as a.
All right. So you're giving Jean-Luc 65 gold bars. Let me mark that down for him.
Is that large crystal full or empty?
It is empty. It is a giant empty crystal.
Giant or large?
I just called it a giant one. It's
I
probably
think
just
it's a
large.
We'll
large,
say large, yeah, large is
large
fine.
empty soul crystal. Right. And how much? You said 65 bars of gold.
Yeah, 65 for Jean-Luc. And I would recommend that Butcher and Jean-Luc stay here, because if one of them needs to come and find us, they need to be able. We need to be able to have somebody always here to tell us what's happening, and or we could message them, or actually, if we were to open the holo from here, can we show them how to activate the holo and talk to them through the holo further? Would that be possible?
To talk to who through the hollow?
Well, see, if we take one of the holo pillar with us,
Mm-hmm.
can Jean-Luc or Butcher use the holo here and keep us updated through Chiron or us directly?
Unless they are good with magic, most likely not.
So also, you don't think these hollow pillars are active. You are guessing there's some sort of ritual once you plant them somewhere that activates them, and you're guessing
So
at
we're
that
not.
point you can't move them around anymore.
Oh, okay. So it's not just a gem. It's just not the gem itself. There is another ritual to activate them.
Yeah, to kind of place them in an area and activate them. So you can probably do it 4 times, and then yeah, you can basically pick four uh, places that you want to connect to the hollow.
So so for today, we need to find Avagaru. That's the main thing. We need to kind of give him an offer that if we find more gems, we get 50% of what we find. But we are going to try to find more gems in Isek. Is that okay? If we are doing that first today, and then tomorrow we bring the hollow, one of the hollow to Chiron, and we see what he says about the items, and we decide what we do next from there. That sounds fair.
Do you guys want me going with you with the search? Or do you want me to go talk? Do you want me to go talk to Xana right away?
I mean, I think going by yourself or even with that's pretty dangerous. I mean, we still. I don't think we have cleared everything from these tunnels, and I
Danger's my middle
mean,
name.
Yeah, no, but we may need you to find to help find Avagaru and whatever we find out. If we
All right.
split like that, I mean, she's not going to be. I mean, if she's gone anyway, it doesn't change if she's gone for. I mean, if we learn that the next day or.
No problem, Calgrad. I got your back here.
Okay, so we leave Butcher and Jean-Luc over there, and we just go search for Avagaru.
Can find any more of these cultists left alive, they might be able to. Well, we might be able to get information on how to do this soul capture ritual from them.
Oh, that's a good point. And we need to figure out. I mean, if we can learn what happened to Orchard, that would be useful too. Because I didn't realize, but it may be Orchard and a few dozen hobgoblins together that have been taken wherever they've been taken. All right, let's go.
Alright, so you're heading back to the Krellin bunker.
The what?
The
What?
place where Avogaro is. The
Oh,
bunker
oh,
for the elven god Krellin.
oh, yeah. Okay, yes.
Is that where you're going, or were you heading somewhere else?
No, that makes
Well,
sense.
that's where the portal thing was established with Chiron, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense then.
So you head over there.
Zana's also not far from Chiron, right? Chiron's just like downstairs from the courtyard.
Yeah.
Yes. And since one of you has not been here before, I'll use the map just to map it out a bit. So go ahead. Everyone else, pull yourselves on up here. I'll go ahead and grab Mora. So you re-enter this area. Oh, and I just realized I don't think I shared. She's currently with you in the background.
He's being very quiet.
Yeah.
Who is?
Oh. And this is what Mora looks like. I don't think I ever revealed her picture to everyone.
How you doing?
You can you can kind of see on her token, but yeah, that's what she looks like.
Yeah.
Alright, so the area as you enter it looks kind of the same as it did before. Um, so far, yeah, you don't see any changes. Oh, Tal, you're taking out your light source, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh.
there you go.
So we have to go at the bottom, or we have to go here.
Can I look
Oh,
around?
I can't click.
Oh, it looks like Schroeder isn't here. There you go, Schroeder.
What? I thought I pulled myself onto the map.
Is there something over here? Can I perceive this corner?
So there is a door here, which you walked past last
Oh,
time. I don't
over
think you ever
there.
opened it.
Hey guys, I'm super curious. You know what's in here? Belfire will check the door, see if it's unlocked.
It
Wait.
is. Do you want to push it open?
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright, so the door swings inward as a bunch of really stale air assaults your senses. And there are two large glass tanks in here with skeletons floating in them.
Uh-oh, Tal.
Yeah.
That was about to be you.
It looks like they've been here for a long time.
Is there a pile of clothes in the corner?
No other items in here. It looks like someone was just put in these tanks and left there. They could have been here for quite a while, maybe even before the ritual of Isaac, because they're pretty much just skeletons now.
Hope those weren't your friends, Tal. I'm sorry.
They might have been.
All right.
So something might make you
Oh.
uneasy, Calgrod. Last time you came through this area, there were more of those ghost creatures, but you haven't seen any.
Okay. So I'm kind of asking everybody to be as quiet as possible as we are going to continue when they come out of the room
Whatever happened
going
to
down.
Orcard happened to them as well.
Oh, good point. Good point. So be careful. The ground here is like tricky. I'm going to go climb.
There's another door over here.
I know, Bellfire, but
No?
do we really need to open all the doors?
And it doesn't hurt.
Aye, fair enough,
So
fair enough. No, good.
the ground crumbles a bit as you walk over it. It definitely seems unstable.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump over it.
All right, you launch yourself over just to be safe. To the north, you see the area where it caved in. And yeah, again, none of the ghosts are here. Just seems like an empty area now.
Ooh, I hope we'll find Karen.
What is this place anyway?
So this was a mind flayer kind of lair. Our friend Tal here was one of their experimentation, and that's where we found him down there south. But there's some Alun that were still using that area when we first came through.
Stop and listen at this door if I can still hear the same thing we heard like yesterday, I think.
What's your passive perception?
19.
Okay. You hear a strange hissing noise coming from within. Do you have Arcana?
No.
Okay. Yeah, very faint, like some sort of hissing noise. Schroeder, what's your passive perception?
Not good. I would put my ear up to the door.
Okay. So you hear it yourself, you hear it as well, and you might think that this is some kind of psychic emanation, not actually sound.
Balefire, we may want to check this room out.
Why?
There's some psychic stuff going on in here, but
All right.
it's not actually like it's not actually sound. It's just psychic reverberations.
You know I do awesome with that stuff, right? He says sarcastically.
Yeah.
All right. Bellfire will examine the door.
So it looks like it opens inward. Do you want to try to push it open?
Yeah, gently.
All right. The double door is a bit hard to get open at first, but with some pushing, it does manage to finally open inward, revealing a large room.
With vines?
Inside the room, you see a lot of those tendrils, but none of them seem to be moving. They're just sort of laying there.
Also, Lou, could my lantern light, and could I also get my dark vision?
Yeah, you would see in the center of the room, sort of near where an altar is, an Alhoon is laying on the ground.
Unconscious?
You don't know. Its
But
tendrils.
it's like laying on the ground.
Yeah, its tendrils are slightly moving, though it doesn't look like it's very energetic. So it might be awake. It's hard to say from here.
Schroeder, do you want to fly in there, or should we just run in there?
I mean, are we just trying to take him out, or what's the plan here? Because We've dealt with these tendrils before, and they're not fun.
Isn't there usually a soul crystal nearby when we found these things?
Well,
Oh yeah.
Avagaru could tell us. That's why we are going to get Avagaru and figure out where are the next soul crystal.
He didn't
But this guy's
vanish
like
But
as
laying
well.
down.
if we keep stopping in the way of getting Avagaru,
Yeah, let's get Avagaru first.
I mean, you assume he hasn't vanished as well.
well,
Yeah.
that is a good point. I mean, we have to check. That's yeah. I mean, it's you guys call if you want to check it out. Go ahead. I'm
Like
staying
this
here
thing,
and
I mean, if
watching.
he's just laying there, he could be. I mean, this might be an easy one to take out.
Could be.
Um, so does Balefire have line of sight to the Ahmoon?
It would have a pretty heavy cover behind the pews there, but you do kind of see it. It might be
All
sitting
right,
up a little bit.
can I try and hit it with a firebolt?
No, wait. I won't. Let's. It doesn't seem to be aggressive. Let's just walk up and inspect it. See what's wrong with it.
All right,
I agree.
Balefire's gonna wait here while Tau goes forward.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk forward. The
Okay.
tentacles don't attack me, I assume.
No, they seem to be motionless at the moment.
I'm gonna walk up and look at the Alhoon. Maybe use medicine to check what's wrong with it, or would I need a Arcana?
Medicine would tell you something if you want to make a roll.
I'll
16.
actually go up with Tal and assist.
Okay. So the Alhoon stirs a bit as you approach it. Its eyes flutter open a bit, exposing like milky white pupils. It looks like it has been badly damaged with necrotic energy from your medicine check, which is impressive because these creatures are highly resistant to necrotic damage. It looks at you and utters some strange words. Do you speak Undercommon?
No, but I'm gonna
I
answer in
speak
deep
Undercommon.
speech. I'm gonna answer in deep speech what happened.
Okay, so if you speak Undercommon, Mora.
I'm staying not too close, but definitely within earshot.
Alright, let me send you a message.
Calgrod, look at these guys.
Fine, I'm watching the trees.
So this is what you hear, and it is now saying this over and over to Tal. It seems very weakened, probably near death.
What do we also see over here? Like behind it, some sort of altar and shit?
Yeah, so do you have religion?
No.
I do.
So yeah, anyone with religion, this is an altar to Corellin, which would go with all the other religious things you've seen here. This may have been some sort of chapel at one point, which the mind flayers probably had turned into something else.
Could I tell that Mora understood the mind flayer?
Mora will actually reply to him. Be more specific. What has awoken? But no one can understand, I guess.
So that you would probably see or hear Mora say something back to it. It says that back to you, at which point its eyes go wide and it lets out a very painful psychic shriek. I need intelligence saves from everyone within 30 feet of it. Which
Yeah.
I think is the three of you. DC 16. So there is a pain in your mind as it shrieks psychically. You would take 9 or 19 psychic damage from it. And I probably need initiative rolls at this point.
Yay!
Schroeder. Alright, do I have everyone? I need it from all of you.
Put it back to the first one.
Alright, so it seems like this creature is letting out some kind of death knell. On its turn, it seems like almost like it's falling apart now, but it's going to do another psychic scream. So I need some more int saves.
Yeah.
So once again, as you're trying to recover from the first one, you hear another piercing scream in your mind. This one does 34 or 17 psychic damage. There's a lot of 6s in there. Quite a bit more powerful than the first one. Mora, what do you want to do?
Grabbing her bow, just shut your trap and shoot.
Alright, so you are taking a shot at the screaming creature.
Yeah. See.
It is prone, so 16. Do you have any reactions, or you want to use the 16? Or any
If
adjustments?
he's prone, doesn't
Well,
he get
disadvantage still
damage?
makes 6. No, because I'm.
This is a ranged attack.
Um,
6. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just thinking that if it is prone, would I really shoot it with a bow? But right now, I don't think.
If you want to do something else, you can do something else. It's fine either way. The pews would be difficult terrain.
Nah, that's fine. I don't want to stand near it because it seems like I want to back up, so I'll shoot it twice.
Alright, so 16 will indeed hit it. It seems too weak to do any reaction spells like shield.
Okay, I'll add psychic blades to this one, although it might be resistant to psychic.
So strangely enough, I don't think Alhuin are resistant to psychic, which is kind of weird. Nope, normal damage. So you deal 24 damage as the dagger is just, the arrow is just buried in its chest, and it kind of slumps over and just lays there motionless.
Creature, it said that some mindstorm has returned. I don't know, some sort of god of these I'll kind of step back and look around to see if there's anything else to shoot.
You take a quick look around the hallway, but no, it doesn't seem to have attracted anything else to the area. Looks clear.
Alright, that's my turn then.
Alright, so
Did
this
these
point,
tendrils go away?
no, they're still just laying there. They didn't seem to react to it dying.
All right, what happened there?
That's what normally happened, though,
So, yeah,
correct,
from
my recollection?
last time, yes. This time, nothing seemed to happen. So, Balefire, you just saw everyone in there start grabbing their heads as this thing, like, basically raised its tendrils up in the air a bunch. And then, yeah, you just saw Mora shoot it, and it went limp. But Tal probably is bleeding from his nose a bit, because I think you're wounded, right, Tal?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're just above it. Okay. So maybe he just looks really rattled then. And psychically.
Hey, Schroeder, do you detect magic in there?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
And I'll also check the Alhun.
Alright. You gonna do ritual detect or spell detect?
Where is my detect? ritual.
Okay. So
I do
you're
not
going
have
to
it
take
prepared.
10 minutes. Searching the Alhoon, it doesn't seem to have anything. It was just sort of laying here next to the altar. So time is passing.
Anything else in the room, Schroeder?
I'm checking with detect.
Balefire, give me a wisdom save.
No.
I refuse. I mean, you could just fail it if you want. Okay.
Well, he just
Yeah.
did.
So Balefire, you're kind of waiting there. Schroeder's doing his thing or her thing, and you start to hear a whispering coming from down the hallway. Like you just suddenly turn, nothing's there, and the whispering stops when you turn towards that direction.
Is that the same whispering type stuff that I've been dealing with every time?
Last time you were here, yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
similar, like it's starting again.
All right. There's I think something down this hallway. I hear noises, sort of whispering, calling me.
Are you hearing voices again?
Look over
Yeah.
into the hallway.
You look
Well,
down the hallway, but even with a 19, you don't see anything.
Someone
I'm
should go
calling
look
at
down that hallway.
I'm calling
While I
at
stand
Mora.
here.
What did the creature say?
That mind storm or whatever has returned, and it seems to be some sort of a deity for these beasts,
Okay.
these Alhuns.
We need to get to Karen as soon as possible now. If we find a Vagaro on the way, so much the better. But we cannot dilly dally. We may be facing something we are not understanding yet.
Know what this is? This mind storm?
I have no idea, but 100 years, the whole city got wiped out by something that was probably triggered by Malek. But I certainly don't want to find out if it's kind of resurging now that Malek is not there. We are not very far from Karen Place. Let's hustle over there, and we'll see what Karen has to say over there.
Balefire, you hear what sounds like glass shattering to the west somewhere.
Now I'm hearing something the other way. Someone just
Hey,
dropped the vial or something. I'm not sure. Glass
come on,
shattered.
folks. Come on, folks. We are not very far. We need to get there.
Yeah. Schroeder, I'd abandon that. Let's just go. We can always come back here later.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything that's been there has been there for hundreds of years.
All right.
Schroeder's like, but I want to stay. Alright, so you are headed back down the hallway this way. Again, no more ghosts.
Careful,
This area
careful on the ground. I'm climbing over. I'm walking with on the wall with my spider.
You would notice anyone with a 17 passive or over,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is Mora. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Balefire is 17.
So
Calgrog.
Balefire, Mora, Calgrod, or whoever else, you would notice over here, as you're going past, there is water coming from under this door here, like a puddle. As if maybe there was water in the room and something broke, and maybe there's water on the floor in there or something.
Hey, what's been in those glass things where we found Tal? Was that
Yeah,
like
it
water?
It could
Yeah,
be.
that may be. Let's keep going. We need to go to find if Agaro is at if he's there, and if he's not there, we need to find Karen and figure out what's going on over there. Climbing on the walls.
You would notice, Balefire, as you cross the threshold here, you feel quite a bit more relaxed.
What was the thing?
Better over here, guys.
As if the tension of this place got a little bit less heavy on you. This was a pillar in here.
Just normal pillar?
Yeah,
Right.
just a support structure. It's kind of fancy, but it's, yeah, as far as you could tell, it was just a pillar.
What is
So
this?
this area has been protected.
How
do we
this
get
area.
over?
Do you have a... So you could jump this if you have a 10 or over strength. If you don't, you could try to use acrobatics to balance to get across it.
And I have to use acrobatics.
Okay. It's not too hard to do. Ooh. Alright, so you're having a little bit of issues there. Give me another acrobatics check. Oh, yeah. Alright, so you start to maybe have some issues, but you luckily regain your balance and get across. Okay.
Nice save, Mora.
So you would get to this room and you still see the glass sphere here. It looks like it is still sparkling with the magic of Calgrod. Not
Avagaru,
Calgrod.
are you here? I wish. Karen.
Chiron, yeah. You say his name, but no one seems to be present.
Tal, you may have been right. Shoot. We may also have lost Karen actually, but at least his magic is still active. So this area is protected by a strong magic that Karen put on that crystal, so that a lot of external influences are kept out here. So this is kind of a safe area.
Who's
And
Chiron?
well, Karen is in his well, if he's still there, he would be in his library, and we can access the library through that crystal.
Who is Chiron?
Who is Karen? Karen is, I think Frodo mentioned, is a wizard from Isek that got transformed into a dreadful undead, but kept his mentality and sanity, but has been kind of locked in his library since the beginning, for 100 years. He's been an ally, very useful.
He seems nice enough. What's her name? He seems nice enough, Nico says. Bit of a bookworm. It takes a little getting used to as well. He's kind of, looks a little bit odd.
Okay.
So let's activate that thing and teleport to where is Schroeder. Any problem with that?
I don't believe so.
Alright, so let's go.
Alright, so you're going to touch the crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, give me one moment.
Oh man, do we have any power to locate the creature ourselves? Like, no? Anybody has something like that?
I do, actually.
So that could be useful to have it next day to try to figure out if we can find Avagaru. But so if all the ghosts have disappeared together with the people that were alive when whatever happened.
So as you touch the crystal, you see that everyone who touches the crystal would shimmer a bit. And a moment later, you feel as if you suddenly have traveled a great distance, as if like everything around you kind of whooshes into darkness, and you are your vision blurred. You're suddenly standing in a new place, as you can now see again.
Well,
Our old tokens are all here.
Are we at the tunnel? Or? Yeah, they are at the tunnel.
Ignore that.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah, it's for some of you. Well, I think you've all teleported before, so some of you might be used to it. But here you go.
So we teleport here.
Yeah, it seems like there has been a new feature added to the laboratory, as there is now a crystal on this side as well.
Nice. Karen!
So
Karen, are you here?
A figure comes walking out of the library.
Oof, okay. Hi.
Shadowstalkers, you return.
We have, but there may be a problem around here.
I felt the destruction of the Shadowlord. Is it true?
Ooh.
Is he actually gone?
Yes.
For the most part.
Well done. He says, You have done Isaac a great service and avenged the fall of many of the dead. He says,
That we did.
I assume you will be returning to the surface then and leaving Isaac now.
No, actually.
He looks at you curiously through his red pinpoint eyes.
We have some questions for you. Have you heard about this something being awakened? Like a psychic cream or something like that? Mora, what was it?
I say the name in undercommon.
He looks at you for a moment, tapping one of his long, pointy fingers on the ground. Then suddenly he turns and moves back, quickly going back into his library. He says, Are you
Whoa.
certain that is what the creature said? You hear his voice say from the library.
Come on, guys,
Yes.
get in the library.
So you see him looking through the shelves. A moment later, a book floats off one of them and kind of over to him as the pages begin to turn. Mindstorm. Why do I know that name? So he looks through several pages. He says, It is an artifact of the Mind Flayers. A ring. It's said to have untold amounts of psychic ability. This could be bad.
We also have a few items that perhaps you could give us more insight on what their properties are.
So he seems a bit distracted at the moment as he continues to read. He says, Yes, I will help you in any way I can. I must look into this a bit more. Whatever this mindstorm is, it could be a danger. He says, What happened exactly when the Shadowlord fell?
A portal opened up, most likely to the Shadowfell, for a minute, and then it closed.
Also, there was a wave of energy.
Yes, there was that, and he left his physical body behind. The guy that he was controlling, this Blackwater, Galen Blackwater guy.
And we believe that some of the compatriots we were with were forcibly planeswalked.
That would make sense if what you're saying is true. The necrotic energy released from him may have affected the area, perhaps teleporting allies and enemies to the Shadowfell. Though I don't know why you were not affected.
We were in the room where he was. Oh, no, some of us were in a gem, actually.
Some of us were in a shadow crystal.
Strange. What became of this Blackwater? Is he still there?
He's right here.
You point to your skeleton?
Yeah.
He looks at you a little curiously. He says, I thought you said he survived.
Well, yes, he survived, but in a very bad shape. So we heard from you that the Empire is getting into his sec. We want to keep his yeah, we have decided that he should not survive for whatever he brought to his egg. But
Uh,
he stayed with us.
so he seems a little. I don't know if concerned would be the right word. Maybe a little surprised, but he continues what he's doing. He says, "Well, I suppose if he was in league with the Shadowlord, he can no longer do any foul deeds, but he may have been an innocent bystander."
Yeah, that is a possibility, but
He could also have been reasserted control over by Malik if he regained his strength.
He nods. He says, "Well, Malik, the Shadow Lord, can take control of any host, as far as I know. It is one of the abilities of the Shadow Lords. Perhaps this Blackwater was just a convenient host to him."
Someone with a lot of power in this land.
He says, "Regardless, I need to do more research on this mindstorm and figure out the dangers that might be approaching. You are all welcomed in this place. You may move around the laboratory and my library as you wish. If you need to do any research or use any of my facilities for any type of potion brewing. I believe that the upstairs is safe as well. You've cleared most of the ghouls out, but I'd still be cautious. There could be other enemies still roaming about. Do you think you'll be here for a while?"
Um,
well, we found something that could be of interest to you. We found one of these access to the hollow that we were planning on bringing you.
He stops and looks at you. A hollow point, and
Yes.
one that has
it would
not been
need
activated.
correct. It can still be moved and stationed in
So
here if you would wish.
he throws out one of his hands suddenly towards a back bookcase, and the book comes flying out. He sort of motions his claw, and it floats over to you, Schroeder. He says, "I have information on the rituals needed to plant hollow points from old dwarven libraries. It should be of use to you if you wish to use those pillars."
Thank you. I will. Once we are able to get one of them here, I will set it up for you.
He walks over this way. He now has 3 or 4 books rotating around him, like orbiting him. And he goes and stands in his normal spot as he begins to read. He
So
says,
thanks for your hospitality, Karen. Do you know any more about, before you get too deep in your books, do you know any more about the advance of the army above?
"I believe, from what I've seen, it is a smaller scouting party, um, but there most likely will be more, as it is a decent sized force, about 50 or so. I don't recognize their armaments or their coat of arms. I'm not familiar with or I'm no longer familiar with the noble houses of the Teruvian Empire."
Um, have you sensed anybody? We have been surprised that a lot of people have disappeared, and the Halun have been gravely injured by this necrotic energy wave or this psychic thing. Is that something you felt yourself or not? Are there like less undeads on the surface or stuff like that?
The ghouls seem to be scattered now, less intelligent in their attacks. I believe that if there was a main force controlling them, it may have been destroyed or at least weakened, as they no longer seem to be moving as a large force. So they're not dead, but they seem to be less dangerous now, the hordes.
So I think by far you need to go check on the dragon. We're not too far now.
All right. So Chiron, real quick, do you have a minute to take a look at this dagger?
Yeah, the 3 items.
We got these 3 items that we were able to figure out a little bit what they do, but we know we're not strong enough to figure out the rest of what they do. Can you identify these things real quick?
Legend lore.
Show me.
Bellfire will show him the dagger.
He says,
Yeah, we'll line up.
the vault keys. I know basic information on them. However, I don't have a legend lore spell. I no longer can use magic in that way because of my corrupted form. However, there might be books in here that have information on them. However, I'm occupied with this at the moment.
All right.
Of course.
I'll go talk to Shauna Schroeder. If you want to try and find out more information, that'd be cool.
So he looks
Yeah,
to
I'll-
Mora. He says, you bear the marks of the Midnight Pyre. As he seems to just notice something.
I was wondering if my order is known, yeah?
He says, I don't know
Yes.
them well, but I've heard whispers. Even in my former life, the Midnight Pyre did have a bit of a reputation.
What's the reputation on this plane?
He says, they hunt the followers of Malik, do they not? The children of the Shadow.
Indeed, you're right. That is why I am here. Oh,
He considers you a moment and says, did you come here to hunt the Shadowlords, or were you here for a different purpose?
we came here to seek out the cult and find out what their plans are for this plane. Coincidentally, we stumbled across the Shadowlord, and we weren't quite prepared for that. It's only thanks to this group here that I was able to save myself.
Well, Mora is very modest. She is actually the one that delivered the killing blow against Malek.
How fitting that a Midnight Pyre member should once again help in the defeat of a Shadow Lord. He says, well, I'm glad to have your expertise here. Do you know of a way to return to the Shadowfell to possibly pursue the Shadow Lords?
Our wizard was killed. I currently do not have a way to go back.
Another question I might have to ponder. He says, well, it is good to meet you. I just now noticed your marking. So I will get back to what I was doing, but let me know if any of you need help.
Hi, so
we
the
would
plan is-
most likely have to ask Aranye for help with the getting Mora home.
Well, we have to figure out who is still alive and who is still around. So we need to check on the Warforged. We may need to check on Aranye and the Dragon, and then figure out if we have to deal with the scouting party ourselves, or if they can do that for us.
Yeah. Do you want me to stay here and figure out more information on everything and how to do that hollow point ritual and all that?
Yeah, I think that's the first thing to kind of figure out, because then we can bring one hollow point back here, and I kind of wink to the party, and without saying anything more here.
So Chiron will say, I might be able to figure out a gate to get you all to the Shadowfell, but it will take time and research. I will start looking into that after this, unless you think there's something more present I should look into.
This whisper is dangerous. It killed it killed an alloon, like literally to its dying breath, and we don't know what it can do. So
I'm
figuring
going
out that's yep, go ahead.
to whisper something real quick to Calgrad to see if we should tell him about it now.
Not now.
Not now? Okay.
Not now.
Yep.
Alright, so what does the group want to do? Chiron continues to have his books kind of floating around him as he reads.
So he cannot do the legend lore. So Tal, will you be able, if we stay for one day, can you do that the next day?
Tomorrow, but it's expensive.
Oh, it's Mora. Sorry, Mora. Okay.
What?
So would you be willing to do it?
That tomorrow, not tomorrow.
That okay. And Tal, you were saying tomorrow you have the enlarge or reduce thing, right?
No, I have the enlarge and
Tomorrow.
reduce that I can
Oh,
do
sure.
tomorrow, and Tal said that he can do the legend lore tomorrow, but it's expensive.
Yeah, like Mora. Well, Mora said that.
Mora can't do
No,
it.
No,
Tal said he can do it tomorrow,
Tal has the legend lore, I
but it's
think, right?
expensive. Yes, he
Cleric
said
has
tomorrow.
a cleric has legend lore, so I can switch every long rest.
Right.
I think
Yeah,
it's,
So
what is it, like 250 gold pieces worth of religious components, I think?
Mhm.
Yeah.
we have that.
Okay.
It's 300.
300? Okay.
250.
I
Oh,
thought.
I
and four things worth 50, so it's 450
Oh,
total.
yeah. That's the thing. You would need those ivory strips. You would have to get those before you could do it. Because those aren't consumed, so you would have to have those.
Oh, those are not consumed, so we just need. Oh,
Yeah, you just need those. Once you have those, you can spend the 250 to cast it each time, but you have to have those as a base, like the pearl for identify.
yeah. Also, would I be able to know how much religious components we had total because Nico was holding on to all of the religious components.
Oh, if you ask her, she says, "Oh, let me check." She opens her bags.
Yeah, I'll just put that back with all the other components I have.
She says, "Oh, you want to carry them now?"
uh, we we should keep them, Nico. I mean, you told us you want to
They're
leave that
mine,
place anyway.
my precious.
You can
No,
keep your armor.
she says, I have 421 gold pieces worth. Uh, I would like to
21.
keep at least 100 for some of my rituals, but I can give you 321.
Sounds good. 321 it is.
Okay, so she holds on to 100. And then she goes back to the background.
321 GP. Okay.
Well,
Go
we
ahead.
can help her go out if she wants to. She was saying that she's kind of tired of these tunnels and
Nico, if you want
underground
to come
things.
with me while I go up and visit Zana, I'll escort you to the surface.
She says, well, I feel like I should stay here for now. The group might need me. Um, unless you want me to leave, I'd be happy to maybe just stay with Chiron and use some of his books. I would like to do some research myself now that there's some time.
Perfect. All right, so
What was the other
also,
thing?
Chiron, you used to be able to cast this legend lore spell. Would you allow us to use your components for that?
He says, my components? Oh,
The
The
ivory
ivory
strips.
strips.
he says, if they are still around, they would be within the keep. That is where I used to live when I was alive.
So that's a question for Zana.
He says, you will,
oh,
if you can find my old room, there are several components in there that might be of use to you, including the ivory strips. as I had used legend lore on a couple of occasions. But they
Thank
might
you.
not be there anymore. Just warning you, it's been a while. Or
Thank you in any case.
he nods.
So possibly asking Zana if we could
Yeah,
go
I'll chat
to
her up.
his room.
I'll chat her up and see
Okay.
if she'll let me buy her drakes.
So the question is, do we just send one scout to Zana, or are we all going together and spending the rest of the day trying to figure out who is still there? Because I mean, we also have the Warforged and Irania to kind of check upon if we want to get help against the scouts.
Also, at this point, the group is sort of out of imminent danger as kind of events start to develop. So you can start to work on some downtime things if you want to stay and wait for Chiron to look into some of the perils. Um, yeah, like, are you familiar with the different downtime projects you can do?
Yeah,
Bellfire is.
There's
yeah,
there's a whole list of them in the, was it Xanathars?
yeah. Into the Natar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're
Do
interested in
we
that.
have do we have a rough estimate on how long we're going to be here, basically?
Well,
Because
hold
I'll
on.
be.
So the first thing we need to do. So today we still have. So we know Abakaro is not there, but we still need to figure out today before we make any decision if the Warforged are still there, Dana is
Mhm.
still there, and Irania is still there. Once we have that figured out, we can either decide to act on the scouts ourselves or let them do it, and then we can decide what we do for downtime. But I
Well,
don't think we should do downtime until we know about these three factions.
no. So the Warforged, I can get into contact once I set up the Hollow Point.
Okay. So tomorrow, fair. So that's easy.
Yeah, so
Aranye,
Zana. Or go ahead.
yeah, Zana is an easy thing we can do today, just going upstairs, basically.
She doesn't like to
Mhm.
be disturbed unless it's. She likes me going up there at dusk. I
Yeah,
mean, I guess we can wake her up early if we need to, but
I
if there's something
think
else we can do in the meantime.
we need to. I mean, there's something
she
big
would want to
happening.
know about the scouting party at minimum.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Plus the threat, this threat that we don't know yet has been unleashed. They probably, if Karen felt it here, she probably felt it up there too. And we need to know if she's there or not.
Okay.
That's one of the. So let's do that today, right now. Leave the let's. But are we doing that together, or just sending Balefire to do that?
I might actually have a way to contact Aranye.
Okay, well that would be great. This way we don't have to go to the island.
Cause
Shoulder, can you do a
uh,
telepathic bind so that we can keep in
yeah,
touch with Balefire?
I'll set up a telepathic bond.
All right. So Balefire,
Lou,
go check on that now.
Yeah.
I have a question about. So you said that I can basically make my skeletons attuned to things. Would I basically be able to use one of the skeletons, obviously not the Blackwater one, to put on that circlet and basically just be a telephone
Good idea.
Which ability is this?
So
ability? No, it's a gold circlet. Remember the one that
we
Aranya gave us?
yeah, I have one
Oh,
also.
isn't that mental link though?
Well, I wasn't certain what exactly it did. We just know that you can't really take it off.
Oh, yeah. Well, you never put it on, so I mean, you could put it on your skeleton and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna attempt that.
Sure. So you give it to your skeleton and tell it to attune to it.
Yes.
Okay, so it's going to take an hour, but it starts tuning.
I so
If you did
Balefire go.
if you did a telepathic bond already, then I can start going upstairs while you're doing this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just 10 minutes.
Okay, so from the keep view. So you'd go upstairs out to the courtyard, and as you go up to the roof where Zana is, you would notice that the outside of the keep there are no ghouls out there anymore. They seem to have dispersed. So you're no
Nice.
longer trapped inside.
I'll relay that mentally to the group, telepathically to the group.
No, my target practice.
Yeah. So going upstairs. Where is it? Yeah, so you go up to the roof, and you would hear a growl coming from the hole up in the tower. A voice says, "So you've returned," as a large shadowy head pokes out.
Would that be Zana's shadowy head?
She says, "I felt a disruption of shadow energy. Malik has fallen then."
Yeah, we damaged him, and when just as he was sort of, we thought like killed, his host collapsed. A portal opened up, presumably to the Shadowfell, and stayed open for about a minute, and then closed. And then his host seemed clueless, so we think we've got him to leave here and go back to the Shadowfell.
She nods. She says, "It was expected. There is no known way to kill the Shadow Lords as of yet. Uh, it is good to see you alive and well, Balefire."
Yeah, it's good to see you too. Um, I wanted to see we've noticed a bunch of changes in the area since this happened, though. Uh, we came across an Alhoun or a Mind Flayer. I think it was, the white things are Alhouns, right?
Yeah, the
Um,
Yes.
undead ones.
came across an Alhoun that said that some Mindstorm thing had returned, which we believe is some sort of psychic artifact, a ring or something like that, that's precious to the Mind Flayers. So, and a bunch of people disappeared. So I want to make sure that you were still here, or see if you had maybe disappeared to the Shadowfell or whatever.
No, I
Um,
remain. My drakes still secure the battlements. No one has come here since your group has left. The area remains secure. I don't know what a mind storm is, but
all right.
it sounds like some sort of mind flayer magic.
Yeah. I just wanted to give you a heads up about that. Um, so the other thing is, so the Malik's host was this guy from this powerful family, and they're marching on the city. I think there's a group of like 50 of them. So we wanted to bring it to your attention to see if that was, if you need target practice or, something to do, maybe if you could help us thin those ranks.
I still patrol the cities at night. I haven't seen any such group. Are they coming in quietly?
So one sec, let me check with the group, and I'll mentally reach out to ask the group. Hey guys, so where do we think these people are coming from?
Well, probably
I
from the
will.
direction of shore, but
Yeah,
if they are
I'll double
scattered,
check with Chiron. Do you know what direction they entered the city from?
He looks up from his book and he says, "I believe they came in from the south. What would the area be called?
The southern entrance or gate?
Well, what's left of the gate. All the gates
Yeah.
around the city are destroyed, but yes, they came in through the southern part of the city."
I would relay that, and they're most likely being stealthy as they're probably just a scouting party.
She
All
says,
right,
"I
so
assume these are not friends of yours, then."
No, these are going to be bad people that are power hungry and seeking. They're trying to get to I don't know, some powerful thing underneath. My companions are like really nervous about these guys like coming into the city.
She nods.
So yeah.
Well, if I see any humans, then I should just attack them.
No, I think so. I'm gonna relay mentally, telepathically back to the guys. Are they humans or were they like vampires or something like that? I
No,
wasn't really paying
they're
attention when you guys
humans.
were talking.
They are humans.
Okay.
And they would most likely try to take the keep from her.
Okay. Would they have any emblems on them? Anything that identifies them, or should she just kill every human she sees except us?
Would Chiron be able to, if he saw, describe any emblems or visible markings of
Well, I
crests?
could. Cadward probably could identify the crest or at least describe the crest, right?
Well, you're not
Tal too.
sure. You know the Blackwater insignia, but you're not sure what families are here because you haven't seen any of these scouts. So you're not
But
sure
does
who.
the
Yeah, and
Empire
that's
does
why I'm
does
asking
the
Chiron.
does the Taurian Empire has a crest of its own?
Yes, but different families and factions have different crests, like the Crimson
Okay.
Blade or the Blue Dragons or the Steel Shadow. Like all the different groups have their own insignias, and each noble house also has its own insignia.
Okay.
All right, so I'll relay to her like, yeah, just I would be very, very cautious of any large group that are sneaking in, probably from a southerly direction, and they most likely would want to take your keep from you. So,
Well,
you know,
one second. Did Chiron see any insignias, or would he be able to describe them if he did?
He said he saw them, but he said he wasn't familiar with the symbols of the new families because he comes from a Teruvia from 100 years
Yeah,
ago.
he's not familiar, but would he be able to like describe them?
He. If you ask him to, sure, he can try to describe them. So he starts describing one. Calgrod, give me a history check.
Would I be able to assist him with it?
Yeah, and actually, this would probably be at disadvantage since you don't actually see it.
Doesn't the assist just give him advantage on the check? So it's a straight
No,
roll?
you would both roll and
Oh, okay.
see if you can come up with something.
Yeah.
All right. So, from your limited time interacting with the Teruvian Empire, it sounds like the symbol is of a family known as the Soft Spire. Let's see, with a 20, you would know that they are an aspiring family that has come up recently in power. Um, Based out of. Why is my map blurry? What's going on? There we go. Based out of. Which one was it? I believe it was. I believe it was Dorvan. They came up recently due to a discovery of a pretty lucrative mine that has gotten them a lot of money and success, which they've used to increase their standing within the empire. So, one of the less powerful families, but they've grown a little bit in power. So, maybe they were sent by the council to see what's going on in Issyk. You're not
All
sure
right.
what their stake in all this is. But that's what you get from the description that Chiron gives you.
Yeah. And now we can at least uh tell Zana what symbol.
no, I'll relay the description of the symbol and tell her the name of the family, um, so that if she does end up talking to someone, she'd know to watch out for that.
Well, the keep is sealed and my drakes are on guard, but if I see a human within the city with this symbol, you wish me to kill them, yes, or any of their forces.
Yeah, I think it's in your interest too, to be honest. So it would work for both of us.
And she
Um,
nods.
there's two other things I want to ask you about. One, um, a companion, or a friend of ours, or an ally of ours, used to live in this castle, and he's got some old things in his room. I was wondering if you'd give me permission to go in and look for some spell components in his room.
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. And do I get a +1 from her my companionship with her? You had given me that
Uh,
before, like
yeah,
you had like a
sure.
reform.
So she says you can look around inside. That's fine. As I said
Okay,
before, you're just don't linger. Find what you need, then move on.
sure thing.
Okay.
And then I have one sort of like personal question to ask, and this is something I've always been curious about. And you're the nicest dragon I've ever spoken with. Is it offensive for someone um to want to like ride on your back when you fly?
She gives you an odd look. I wouldn't say it's offensive. I don't generally let people ride on my back, though.
Okay. Balefire sighs wistfully and says, "Okay, well, thank you for your permission to go in the keep. I'll make this quick."
She nods and goes back inside. What's everyone else doing while this is happening? Anyone doing
I
anything in
am
particular?
I'm doing the research on the items, if I can find any information on those, and
Okay.
then the Hollow Point ritual, and then I'll just be doing downtime reading.
So, researching on the items or the hollow point will probably take you about a week each.
Ah,
So, you can start researching one of those, but it will be some downtime to get through them.
then I will start with finishing my reading
Okay.
because I'm pretty close to that.
Okay. Anyone else?
So are we trying to contact the Ranier shoulder through the circle?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my skeleton to attune to it.
Okay, well, yeah, it's 1 hour. Okay. Right, so we'll see what they say.
Yeah. So
Uh,
your skeleton attunes to the circlet. It doesn't have any noticeable effect on it.
Can I command it to try to speak with Aranye to see if there's any effect?
Which skeleton is this?
One of the bad uh
okay.
Shadowkai.
Okay. Sure. You command it to try to speak with Aranye. It will try to do that as best it can, as it's not sure exactly how this works. The skeleton would take 24 psychic damage
Oh,
as
Ouch.
your magical item clangs to the ground. Would that kill it?
I don't believe so.
Oh. Okay. What's it at? Because I
Because it
know
gets bonus
skeletons usually have like
HP.
8 hit points or something.
8?
Yeah, they have.
They only have
Yeah.
8?
They're well. I don't know if it's 8, but it's pretty low. Here, I can look it up.
Yeah, let me know the base and then I'll
Base
uh
skeleton hit points is 13.
13 plus where is my do I just have to link it again or no, there it is. Plus my wizard level, which is 12.
Oh, so
So it's
25.
at 1 HP.
All right. So it sort of like falls apart a little bit as it looks very hurt. It's like jaw droops off halfway, and it's like, "Argh." But it does seem to still be alive.
They can't heal, can they?
I don't think so. Not naturally. Maybe you could use mending. I could look into how you'd heal undead, but I don't think they can just heal.
I mean, if it's mending, then I'd just ask Nico to mend it.
Nico's like, God damn it. I'll get back to you on if you can heal
Yeah.
undead. Anyone else doing anything? Or shall I just, yeah. Do you want to pass time? Do you want to go try to talk to anyone else? I'm guessing Balefire probably is still looking for the ivory strips because it's a pretty big area.
Yeah, once I'm done with my reading, if we want, I can just have us fly over to Aranye's house. Because that's the next best option, I think.
Well, let's. So now that we know the dragon is still there, let's not poke Ranier. He's going to be doing his. He probably has felt the necromantic energy, and if he's not actively looking for it, he may be digging way more than the dragon has. So let's assume that Ranier is still there, and let's keep him kind of.
Out of the loop.
I would, yeah, out of the loop. Because he may be
Alright,
way more inquisitive than the dragon has been, actually.
yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Yeah.
so the Warforged, so what about the Warforged, though?
We just need to
Wanting them,
bring one of the pedestals back.
okay.
I mean, either that or we can just go over there, but setting up a hollow point kills two birds with one stone.
Also, you know the Warforged already have a hollow point where they are.
Yeah, and
So,
I know
okay,
that Demis Prime would still be connected to it, so I could talk to her through a hollow point if we set one up for Chiron.
Yeah.
okay. And we'll set it up here so there's no kind of. They will probably ask where we found it, and we'll just kind of tell them like a fake story about that, right? We still keep the opening of the vault hidden from the Warforged.
Yeah.
Is that yes? Okay.
All right.
All right. So just a matter of waiting. Well, I'm probably going to do my training for downtime.
So Balefire, give me a perception check active. Alright, so you spend a good amount of the day looking through the keep for anything of value, but you find mostly broken, like useless things. You don't find the ivory strips.
Right.
Did Chiron tell us where his room was?
He. I mean, he probably could have given you an idea. It's been so long since he's been there. He'd probably give you a floor to search, and you searched through but didn't find anything. Maybe you found a room that could have been his, but yeah, you didn't find any type of magical components there.
All right.
All right.
I think I'll head back to the group then.
All right. So it's probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon at this point.
Is it possible for like me to talk to Tal while all this is going on?
Oh yeah, of course. So yeah, Tal is probably in the library. I'm not sure. You said you weren't really doing anything, right, Tal?
I
I can take a short rest, right?
Yes, you could have taken a short rest. So yeah, if you want, you could say you had a conversation with Tal if you guys want to RP a bit.
you said they found you in that weird place with the mind flayers. What were you doing there?
Like I was there voluntarily. The mind flayers killed my group and had me in one of those tanks.
Yeah, but what were you doing there? Why did you come to this mind flayer place?
Not to the flayer place specifically. I was hunting for the missing persons that were like Malek tried to gather souls for his ritual. and a lot of people were missing, so we went to investigate.
Ah.
And we ran into them.
The
Mind flayers, yes. And the Alhun. We killed them all.
those cultists.
Yeah.
We hunt them all over the Shadowfell, and now they've come here as well. Quite a nasty bunch.
What are they trying to do? What is their objective?
Hard to tell. They seems like they serve the Shadowlords, so whatever their objectives are,
So you
never
don't
any
know
good.
Like, what is the ultimate goal? To take over the world, or?
So, do you want me to remind you of some of the things we had talked about, Mora?
I'm pretty sure you never told me anything about it, but please do
Oh,
remind me.
yeah, sure. So the Children of Shadow, the cult that worships the Shadow Lords, exist within the Shadowfell. They used to serve the Shadow Lord when he existed. You knew him as Gaivok. That's
Right.
what you thought he was called. But he was captured by the dwarves and imprisoned, I think 2,000 or so years ago. Your group found out about it, the Midnight Pyre. And basically, at that point, the Children of Shadow lost a lot of their power, kind of went into hiding for a long time, with still incidents happening here and there within the Shadowfell. But more recently, within the last couple of hundred years, they started reappearing again, breaking into certain political groups, having spies in places where they didn't before, and just kind of generally becoming more powerful, which is when the Midnight Pyre started investigating and kind of secretly attacking them again, which is what led you here following one group.
Right, but what do I know about the Shadow Lords
The
and what their
Shadow.
goal is?
So the Shadow Lords themselves are part of a group known as the Followers of the Red Wizard. You don't know much about that group or what the Shadow Lord's ultimate goal is. It seems to be some sort of pursuit of necromantic knowledge and power in general, but it hasn't really been revealed what they're trying to do. The Midnight Pyre has been fighting against them, but has been unable to ascertain what exactly the Shadow Lord's end goal is. Just that they seem to often kill a lot of individuals, gaining energy through these soul crystals they create. You might know that they use some of them to power ancient artifacts,
Mhm.
but other than that, you don't know what they're trying to do exactly with these soul crystals.
Oh, I'll reply then. We
Yeah.
don't know exactly what the end goal is. All we know is that long time ago they were a real threat to the world and were rightfully imprisoned. Well, Gaivok was, and now they're back, and their means have definitely not changed. It's
So
insane.
Gaivok was imprisoned in Issyk, and huh?
Not in Issyk. You don't know exactly where he was imprisoned. It just
So
happened during the last cycle under the dwarves, Dwarven Empire watch. The Rune Masters imprisoned him, is what you would know, um, Mora.
do you know what Malek wanted here? In the vault. He was quite adamant about opening that vault.
Well, I think it would be a good guess that he wanted access to this night weather place, whatever it is. I don't really know, but the others seem certain of it. Whatever it is, they definitely are looking for power to accomplish their goals, and that place sounds like some place with a lot of power. Whatever they are looking for, it would be prudent to go back to the Shadowfell and confront them there, because then there's a chance of ending them.
So that's where they or still are. Are they vulnerable in Shadowfell even like they aren't present in Shadowfell when they are possessing another body, right?
Yeah. Well, I would assume they are more vulnerable in the Shadowfell than here. Killing them here only sends them back. So the only option for this plane is to imprison them. Shadowfell, there might be other ways. I would need to contact the Midnight Fire and see if they have any ideas of what to do with Shadowfell.
But what would keep them from just jumping into another body once they are returned to Shadowfell? Do they need some kind of recovery period?
I don't really know exactly how it works. But yeah, they would need to regenerate before they can come back here. If they do go to the Shadowfell to regenerate, so if there is a way to end them, it would be in the Shadowfell, but there's no. I don't know if it's even possible there.
Yeah, from what you know, there's no known way to kill them. There's just and before the dwarves, the rune masters entrapped them. There was no known way to even entrap them. That was something the dwarves figured out, but sadly, they never gave your people that knowledge. So the secrets of how they did it are probably lost in some ancient rune master vault somewhere of how the Shadowlord was trapped.
And yeah, if there is no way, if we can't figure out how to kill them, then we have to figure out how they got trapped previously. We'd have to find the dwarven secrets. Assuming, I don't know if this library would have any.
Are we sure this vault didn't have any?
That vault? That was a dwarven vault. You are right.
There were no books on it as far as you know. Is anyone else around for this discussion, or is it just you two?
I guess
I'm in the library, but I'm just reading.
All right. So are you
Unless
two
they
trying
say something
to?
that piques my interest or I have more information.
Are you two trying to keep this quiet, or are you just discussing this?
Not really.
Okay. So hearing this, Schroeder, you might know something within a history check.
Sure. History.
Oh, well, you know a bit about the Rune Masters from your studies of them, mostly during your studies of the Hollow. They did have a main base somewhere within the northern mountains, because this all used to be Therian Empire, which is the empire the Rune Masters came from.
Yeah.
If they had information on how they trapped the Shadowlord, it's probably, if it's still there, it's probably within their old tower, which was within the northern mountain peaks. Though you don't know if that tower survived the last cataclysm, but you would guess that that's where the information would be.
Alright, then, yeah, Schroeder would say, perhaps that information is still accessible. I know where it may be, but there's no telling whether it survived the last cataclysm.
We might want to try recover it if we were to face the Shadowlords again.
Yes, perhaps speaking with Miss Prime to possibly guide us there, as they were typically made in that empire.
We know there is a teleport in the hollow, right? Because there was a different
I think
location.
I asked about that, and we
So,
weren't able to access that one because it was cut off or
Okay.
something.
yes, in fact, you do remember the hollow point mentioning the Tower of the Rune Masters as one of the past hollow points. But yes, as according to Demi, it was destroyed, so you can no longer just teleport there. That hollow point.
Yeah, that basically, for clarification, that basically just means that the pedestal itself was most likely destroyed
Or unpowered if the power is no
or
longer
unpowered.
active.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean, yeah, the tower could exist somewhere within the northern mountains.
That may be a really good place to search for more
Yep.
true power stones.
Yes, and a way to bind them if they come back. That's for sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the
That's a
information to
good idea.
bind them, but also the true power stones that the dwarves made, and not the necrotic ones that are filled with souls.
You talking about the
Oh,
arcane crystals?
Yeah.
Those were made by the Nightweather people, the original members of Nightweather. Even the Rune Masters didn't know how to make those. The ancient
Oh.
Nightweather technology included arcane crystals, and the ritual for binding arcane energy to crystals was lost with well, probably with the people who died after they left Nightweather. Even, yeah. So there's a set
Is
amount
it
of them that still
possible?
exist, but no one knows how to make them anymore.
Is it possible that that information is still in Night Weather somewhere?
Sure, it could be.
Mm.
There's probably all sorts of crazy magic technology that exists within Nightweather, but no one knows how to
so
get there.
so it seems that our first order of business is still to install the hollow point here at Charon, right? Get information about
Yeah,
that.
it's
And are
probably
you
going to
guys
take a little bit of research on figuring out how to do that, though. Unless Chiron would be able to set that up.
and Tal and Mora, you would be willing to kind of go get the Rune Master, try to find out more about how to kind of capture the Shadow Master if they come back again here. Is that what you guys are saying?
I don't
Sounds
know.
like
That's like a week-long journey, probably.
Yeah, that's us going physically there and searching that area. We would have to go to the Dwarven Empire to basically search the location of where Schroeder would know that information could be if it is still standing.
So all you know is that from kind of just from your glancing at history books that the Rune Master Tower existed somewhere, because this all used to be the Therian Empire, like the Teruvian Empire and the Nemoric Desert and the mountains were all this huge empire in the past. Uh, as far as you know, the Rune Master Tower is somewhere up in here. But that land is now like no man's land. Like there are giants that live up there now. Like the current day Dwarven Empire is kind of from over here to kind of this area. These mountainous, and it goes off the map too. It goes back there, but that's the what's that empire called? That is the Drogoth Empire is the modern Dwarven Empire. The Therian was the 12 cycle one, which was a couple of thousand years before the Cataclysm.
Cool. Okay, so I think that's a great idea to go try to find this way of finding the Shadowlord if they come back again. That's the main thing we didn't do before opening the vault. We probably should have done.
I mean, that was something we most likely didn't have time for.
Yeah, because of the ritual.
Do we have time
Um,
now? How long do these Shadowlords usually recover for?
that we don't know. Nobody knows.
Mora, you don't have Arcana, right, Mora? But give me an intelligence check. You might remember something from talking to your superiors. Oh, you think you remember it being around a year worth of time, possibly more.
Okay.
We
For,
we have at least a year. Does time flow the same?
there
Does
are
anyone know?
365 days in a year, so it's similar.
What I mean
It's
between the Shadowfell and the material plane.
I think so. I think it's the same. It's 1-to-1, I believe.
Yeah, Schroeder was asking that basically at the end of last session, I believe, because Schroeder knows from being from the Feywild that time does not always move in the same speed on different planes.
Let's say it does for the Shadowfell.
So
We have
1 year
some
is great
time.
news, actually. It is a great news. So we only have to worry about newcomers visiting the vault, and we're kind of taking care of that. So that can give us enough time to go check out this rune master thing.
I mean, it's 1 year for Malak. We don't know about his master. What was his name?
Gaivok. Gaivok didn't die either. He just fled.
So he might not need time to recover.
That is true. That is very true.
Take a body right now.
And he was the one that was prisoner, actually. So he's also aware about that.
So, do we know if he is freed?
If he's what?
Do we know if he's free now, or is he
Gaivok?
still? Yeah, Gaivok.
He
Gaivok
has
is free.
Yes, he has the body of one of our friend, actually, a guy named Thorn that came with Schroeder, and when he fled with that body.
Not happy about it.
Yeah.
So Gaivok is on this plane somewhere.
No,
Well,
Gaivok is back in the Shadowfell. He fled.
Yeah. So
but
what
he
happened?
may have come back. He may have come back.
So this group kind of and this is kind of like lore for the people who weren't there, because I assume the group would just tell them, right?
Yeah.
So this group kind of first met up with Gaivok, who wanted their help. He called them Zation, whatever that means, and said he needed their help to take down Malik. And basically, the group kind of betrayed him and attacked him along with Zana, and beat him up pretty good. But then he fled to the Shadowfell as they were weakening him.
Yeah, he was trying to get us to kill Zena, the Shadow Dragon, and we decided to warn the Shadow Dragon and ambush.
He said if you killed Zana, he could harvest her Shadow Dragon essence to give you protection from Malik's power, is what he claimed, which would make fighting Malik much easier. But the group decided they wanted to keep Zala as an ally and turned on him, basically. Or Zana the dragon.
Did he say why he wanted to kill Malak?
I
We
think he was
understood.
betrayed, but
Yeah,
we
Malek
weren't
was
100% certain.
There was
Malek
some
was his
theories on it,
student.
but he did. So he kind of said that. What was he told you? I'm blanking on what he told you.
He told us first that Malek was his student, and then second that if we were weakening if he was gaining power, Malek was losing power. But we believe he was like bullshitting us.
Yeah, you didn't fully trust the story he was giving you, so you're not sure why exactly he wanted the group to take on Malik, but apparently they were not friends.
And one thing we're pretty sure is that he was prisoners until recently, so he may not even have known about the vault itself. But we're not sure 100%.
And we don't
We
know
know
how he
Malek,
escaped.
Malik was seeking the
and
vault, yeah.
yeah, Malek is the one that was seeking the vault. Malek is the one that created the ritual that destroyed Isek 100 years ago, and we don't know. Yeah, we don't know how Gavok escaped and where he was held exactly.
Jean-Luc actually, did he tell you? He might not have told you about that.
Well, yes,
Because
he may.
Jean-Luc
He may.
actually knows that, but I don't think he mentioned it.
Well, we could probably have shared. Yeah, yeah, no, that's true.
I'll say he
Good
hasn't said
point.
anything yet, because
Yep, all right, fair enough.
he may have known something about that. Jean-Luc is actually Calgron's old character from a different game.
Hmm.
So
So I'm trying to compartmentalize
yeah, he knows a
information.
little bit more about the first chapter of what happened to Guyvok and the beginnings of
Yeah,
the
but,
story. But anyway,
yeah, I remember. I remember there was a s- yeah. Anyway, don't know. So questions for everybody then. Can does anybody has a way for us to teleport back quickly to the vault if something happened here, there?
No from Balefire.
No, I don't have any teleportation spells.
Okay,
Chiron
Morantal.
Chiron says you could set up a hollow point down there. That would be the easiest way.
Yeah, but then we need to follow terminal to teleport over there, right?
He says yes, but there is one within the church, the cathedral.
Okay,
Yeah, the
true,
church
true.
has one, and that's the one the Warforged have been using.
Yeah,
Though he says, remember, I already have set up the glass sphere. You can use that to get down there quickly, just not directly to the vault.
all
Yeah.
right. Well, did we mention the vault to Karen? I don't think we did, right?
Oh, didn't you?
No,
I
I don't
thought you
think we
mentioned
mentioned.
the. All right. Well, he wouldn't have said anything then. I thought you mentioned the
I
hollow points.
No, I was just talking teleporting us back in ISEC in general, not specifically as a vault.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
So okay, so well, well, we're going just to wait for the next day, and I think the next point is doing that hollow point thing and bring it back here, right?
Yeah, I know. I was like, why aren't we trusting Chiron?
We don't trust anyone. It's our fault.
I, I, I,
uh,
I, d- I don't know yet, but he
I feel
certainly
like
will
he's
have
one of
to.
the most trustworthy ones we've come across so far.
And I agree with that, but he hasn't asked any question about where we would get the hollow point from. So far,
I mean, he was
and
definitely interested when we mentioned that we found the Hull Point terminals.
yes, yes. Well, we'll tell him. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going. In the end, when we do that ritual, he will have to learn because. So one of the things I'm thinking is that we may have to set another of these terminals with Jean-Luc and Butcher down there, so that at least there can be some kind of communication about what's going on when we find the terminal ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And it may be beneficial to keep a terminal with us when going to, if we do decide to go to the old Dwarven Empire,
Yeah.
to set a new one up there.
What about setting one at the bottom of the portable hole? Would that work?
I don't think you could teleport into that space if it's not open.
Yeah, that sounds kind of like a bad idea, personally.
Okay, just a suggestion. I mean, we have a.
Trying to
Uh,
teleport into a extra dimensional space just sounds bad.
I.
I agree.
So yeah, so we're just waiting for the rest of the day to go by and Balefire to come back and then.
Oh, Balefire's back already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's around
So
4 o'clock in the afternoon when he comes back.
Oh, so I finished the 2 hours and 20 minutes needed for the rest of my time and started doing the research on the Hollow Point ritual.
Sure, you could put a day towards that. You could spend 8
Okay.
hours.
And
That probably means you won't be going to see the Warforged, though. If you're going to do that today.
no, I said that I wasn't going. I was going to be doing the studying stuff and not moving. If someone wanted to actually go over there and talk to them physically,
So you're
by all means.
You're firmly planted within the library for now.
Yeah, and I now need to edit my character sheet, and I will be handing the book over to Balefire.
So, hey, you don't speak Dwarven, right?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
I have a book on how to learn Dwarven. If you're interested in that, Lou, you'd have to decide if that actually works for your campaign.
So,
but this was
learning
book
a
I learned.
language, I think the time is like 10 weeks minus 1 week per int modifier or something. It's under the downtime revisited.
All right. So I have a book on how to do that. So I think in the previous campaign that I was in, you couldn't just learn. You had to have a source for the knowledge that you're learning.
Yeah.
Right. So either someone had to be teaching you, or you had to have a book. So the book is the way that is your source material.
And that's usually how it is. You'd have to have someone teach you, or you'd have to have something like a source for the knowledge.
Right. So Schroeder, I'll trade you my Learn Dwarven book for that book.
Sure. I definitely do not mind learning new languages, and now with my int even higher, I shall learn it faster.
All right. Cool.
Can we pass on the next day until to get back to the? Can we?
Yeah. So, are you going to see the Warforged today, or are you waiting till tomorrow?
No, I think we decided to wait for the Hollow to talk to them through the Hollow.
It's going to take time to learn how to do that ritual. That's what Lou was saying.
Yeah, it's going to take a week.
But at least tomorrow we can go try to get one of the terminal, bring it back here.
Yeah, we can get it here.
Yeah.
We just can't set it up yet until I finish the research.
We'll wait the time required to set it up.
If you guys are okay with it, I can just pass some time for the downtime stuff. Do you have enough food so you don't start going into starvation? That would probably be the only thing. Like, I could just try to pass a week and see how that goes. Oh, never mind. Tal I was gonna make food for everyone. All right.
Nice.
Well done.
What else is there
the
to do in this
most pressing concern is the Nightstorm.
Sorry, what did you say, Maura?
What else is there to do in this place, by the way, except the library?
So there's the library if you want to do research. There is a magic lab if you want to try to look for a formula to make a magical item. There's an alchemy lab if you have alchemy or herbalism, you can try to make potions. There's if you have inks, you could try to scribe scrolls. I mean, the big thing is probably doing research, because you could use the library to research a bunch of different topics, because it usually takes about a week per topic that you're looking into.
Not very good at that. But what is this place we're at anyway?
So it is an old underground dwarven tunnel that exists under the keep. The keep was built during the Humans Empire, which is the Teruvian Empire, which is more recent. But these dwarven tunnels existed. They were built by the Tharian Empire about, I want to say, 2,000 or so years ago. So that's the area you're in now, is these old dwarven tunnels, which had been co-opted by the humans who settled this place, and they were being used by people like Chiron and other individuals who lived in the keep, which is mostly the royal family and their servants.
And right now the keep is abandoned and inhabited by a dragon?
Yeah, so when the ritual went off, basically everyone in Isik died. Malik used the ritual to pull the life force on a massive scale, which created a bunch of these soul crystals. Um, and some people died, some people turned into mindless undead, and some people turned into these weird undead but kept their intelligence, which is kind of like what Chiron is. But yeah, at this point, the keep is pretty much abandoned because everyone died. And I don't know if you did you all discover where the dragon came from. I don't know if you
Yeah,
figured that
you
out.
know, it was a red dragon that was. Then Belfast may remember more. I remember she was a red dragon that became a shadow dragon. She didn't like that change.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
she was. Go ahead.
I know that's all I was going to say. Go ahead.
So from what she had told you, she was a pet of Malik, who had been forced into the Shadowfell, which kind of corrupted her essence, turning her into a shadow dragon. Before she was a red dragon.
She was a pet of Malak, and then they.
She doesn't like that term, but yeah.
Okay,
And she hates Malek for what he has done to her.
Yeah,
got it.
which is why killing her, at least from what Guyvok said, drawing her essence would be a way to fight against Malik or help protect against his magic.
Okay.
But anyway, we're close to the 2 o'clock. This might be a good place to stop, as next time we could do some time passage and figure out the next steps for the group. So you all have some
So,
stuff to talk about.
why were we able easily to go get the pedestal, the whole pedestal
Yeah,
back over there and
sure.
bring
I'll
it back?
say you have food and water. You can just create it. So I'll say the next day on the 13th, it's about we'll say 12 o'clock. You get back with the pillar. You now have it in the
Okay.
bag of holding, using enlarge
Portable.
reduce.
Okay, and so we have Jean-Luc and Butcher still down there.
Yeah,
Can they survive down there on their own?
they are still guarding it. Jean-Luc has supplies.
Reduce lasts 1 minute.
Yeah, so I assume you would just use it to put it in the portable hole then.
Yeah, we're just using it to put it in there, not to like
And to take
maintain
it
that
out.
spell.
Yeah.
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 Isn't it just gonna explode once when it's?
No,
uh,
because the dimensions are fine.
yeah. Luckily,
The issue is just getting it in there.
luckily, unlike the bag of holding, the portable hole doesn't have a weight limit. It's
As
just,
a volume limit.
Yeah,
Okay.
it has a volume limit. So I think there's right now there's a couple of items in there. There's the gold, and that's about it. I think, right?
There's a bunch of items. You have the
No.
list actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lou, you should take a look at that at my list. You should have access to it on the other Discord channel.
All right.
Yeah,
I can take a
so
look, and yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying we can go through that offline to make sure that it's legit for your campaign if you've got issues with it.
Yeah,
That's like
I
where
mean, I'm not gonna try to measure everything out. As long as it's not like a ridiculous amount of stuff, I'll trust you on that.
we're close,
Okay.
but it's like
So you might want to think
um,
about that because I might have stuff just fall into the ether if it's not fitting in there.
yeah.
I
All right,
might roll a random D100 and see what falls out of it.
all right.
I mean, we can
I'll
always
make
just set
things up.
some of the extra things in Chiron's area
Sure,
for
yeah, like if you
safekeeping
wanna,
while we're transporting it.
yeah, or just in general, if you want to take some stuff out and put it somewhere else, that's fine. But yeah, if it's getting
Yeah.
to the point where you think it's iffy, then I would, I would definitely attend to that.
That'll get attended to then this week.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do MVP votes. I know this was not as much of an action-packed episode, but hopefully everyone had fun.
Oh, and then just for the new guys too, if you didn't know, if you take your turn doing the scribing, you get an inspiration for your effort.
Yeah, inspiration point. Mora got one from the last scribe. I think Tal knows that already. He was in one of my other games.
Did I also get one from MVP last session? Or?
Yes. So if you get MVP, you
So
also
I should
get one.
have 2 right now.
Yeah, and you start with 1. So if you haven't used that,
I used 1. Oh, I used 1.
All right, cool. All right, so I got 3 votes.
No idea. Well, nothing happened.
Roll D6 or D5.
Well, it doesn't have to be most effective if you like someone's role play or any reason you want to vote for someone for MVP. Looks like I think I know who the winner is, but I'm curious who the last person votes for. All right, so Calgrod with 3 votes, your MVP.
Thank you.
Good job, everyone.
Yeah.
As I said, it's sort of a middle story time, as like we just finished the big chapter part, so I know we're just still trying to figure out where to go next. But yeah, we'll figure that out, and hopefully I can start planning for that. All right, see you all next time.
D13?
Yeah, I was wondering if they limited it to actual dice or if you can roll
you
anything.
Can roll anything.
D13.
All right. See you guys.
Yep.
Have a good week, everyone.
Have a good week. Bye-bye.
Do you have some time to go over backstory?
Yeah, I'm just taking some notes now. So if you want to talk about some backstory stuff, I'll be here for a bit.
Yeah. So I don't know how you want to do it. Like the few suggestions that I had before, you kind of just had counter suggestions to them, which was weird for me. So I'm not sure if you want me to keep suggesting things.
Which suggestions?
So, for example, Crimson Dagger got changed. The suggestion I had about actually being involved with a Shadowfell group that I don't see eye to eye with got changed to being involved with the Shadow group that I like.
So we can, I mean, if you want to have a kind of alter, like a Shadowfell group that's sort of an enemy of yours, we could do something like that worked in as well. I just thought the Midnight Pyre would be good, since they're kind of involved with what the Shadowlord what they were doing.
Yeah, it just puts me, like, basically right now it puts me in a place where I know nothing about the material plane, and I was fine with it because you said, oh, they're definitely just going to the Shadowfell next.
Yeah, and that's what I thought they were going to do, but it seems like they're kind of thinking of different things. So what we can do possibly, if you're still interested in the Crimson Blade storyline, or Crimson Dagger, sorry, you could have just been lying about that. Like maybe you were here for the Crimson Dagger and you hadn't said anything about it. That could be one route if you want to go back to that.
I don't think both work at the same time.
Well, you could be like a former Midnight Pyre person who was there in the past and came here to live afterward. Because I mean, you're only 2 games in, so your backstory is still kind of forming as well. Like
I
nothing.
don't like changing it like that.
Okay, well, I'm fine sticking with this storyline as well.
But I would. I think the